Good morning once again. So today we start one more interesting chapter, and the chapter name is Rulers and Buildings. Okay, so we start from a very good picture, the picture of Jama Masjid. Okay, and one more you can see the view of Delhi. Okay, and one more monuments we have the famous Taj Mahal in Agra. Okay, so you earlier also show in my video that one, and you can also see this one also. That is a very interesting features we can say, that is called Pitra Dura. Okay, a very famous monuments. Yeah, you can say the structure of the, yeah, the design of the particularly in Taj Mahal and Lal Killa, the Diwane Am. You can see this one also. Okay, it is called Pitra Dura. It is the art who was which one carved by the stone. Okay, and it is not made by a single stone. It's made it in the single stones and the very little precious stones, just like you can see. Okay, say so the color are showing for the you can say, yeah, the color is given here, that is a color of stone. Okay, not a पर्टिकुलर कलर, दैट इज ओके। जो भी ये दिखाई दे रहा है, सिंपली वी कैन से ये जो पत्थर हैं ये पत्थरों का ही कलर है। ठीक है, इसमें इसको पित्रा दूरा कहा जाता था, जो हम पढ़ेंगे इसमें आगे वाले। सो फिगर फर्स्ट, सो द फर्स्ट बालकनी ऑफ द कुतुब मीनार, विच वन, दिस वन। ओके, फर्स्ट बालकनी, Kutubuddin Aibak and his constructed around 1199 had this. Okay, 1199. Notice the pattern created under the balcony by the small arches and geometric designs. That is called geometric designs. Okay, that is the design of the geometric. And can you see two bands of the inscriptions under the balcony? These are in the Arabic. Which one are this? This one is the, so the language you can see that one is called Arabic words. Okay, so this one writing in Arabic. Okay, that is Urdu. Okay, and this one also called Arabi, the very famous language in that time. Quran also written in Arabic. Urdu, it was the language of Hindi and you can say Persian. Okay, mixed. That is called Urdu. Okay, Arabic and Hindi. These are the Arabics. Notice that surface of the minar is carved and angular. Placing an inscription on such a surface required great precisions. Yeah, precisions. Only the most skilled craftsperson could perform this task. Remember that very few buildings were made of stone or the brick. 800 years ago, what would have been the impact of the building like the Qutub Minar on observed in the 13th century? So how many years? 1200. Yeah, you can say now in this era, what is the difference between that, the total we can say the differences of that particular buildings and nowadays also, just like it's a scene. Okay, ऐसा लगता है कि आजकल ही बनी हुई है। तो कितनी पुरानी, 800 साल पुरानी यह बिल्डिंग इतनी सुंदर दिखाई देती है, तो किसने बनाई है और किस तरह से बनवाई गई होगी और कितना सुंदर इस पर कारीगरी की गई है, ये हम इस चैप्टर में पढ़ने वाले हैं। ओके, नाउ बिटवीन द 8th and 18th centuries, king and their officers built two kinds of structures. How many types of? Two kinds of structures. So we have some structures also we can see easily. The first were forts. First were fort one. Okay, palaces, gardens, residence, and the tombs, safe, protected, and grandiose palace of the rest in the world. In the next, the second war structure meant by the public activity including the temples, mosque, tank, wells, and caravaneries and the bazaars. King were expected to care for their subjects and by the making structure for their use and comfort. Rulers hoped to win their prices. Yeah, Paris. Construction activity was also carried out by the others, including the merchants. They built temples, mosques, and wells. However, domestic architectures, large mansions, havelis of merchants has survived only from the 18th century. So that is 18th century, yes. So we can see show about that one. Yeah, we can learn about that one. Which type of the structure they have made? At first, the first type of they have made for their own self, just like fort, palace, gardens, a residence for their. Okay. And second one is the public places, just like mosque, temples, and some tank or wells, just like Hoj Khas. Okay, in Delhi. So which type of the persons of there means rich person are they created, yeah, they made, yeah, they will be the able to make such type of the haveli, yeah, big buildings, you can say. Okay. And now we learn a little bit about which type of the superstructures they have done, they have made by the mention the Raj Mistris. Okay. Engineering skills and construction, which type of the constructions are there, which type of the engineering facilities, yeah, they have. Okay, which type of the engineers they have. Monuments provide as an insight into the technologies used for the construction. Take something like a roof for the example. We can make this by the placing wooden beams or the slab of stones across for the walls. Okay, so but the task become difficult if we want to make a large rooms with the elaborate superstructure. This requires more sophisticated skills. Means it's not easy to way. Okay, nowadays we have such type of the facilities, and we are very easily, we can say, we taking off, yeah, we can made of roof in the particular big size of the buildings, but that particular time how they can do that is the very skilled person maybe there. Okay, so between the 7th and 10th centuries, architects started adding more rooms, doors, and window to the buildings. Roofs, doors, and window were still made by the placing a horizontal beam across two vertical columns, a style of the architecture called terabita, that is called terabit or the corbelled. Between the 8th and 13th century, the terabit style was used in the construction of temples, mosques, tomb, and the buildings attached to the large stepped well, that is called baulis. Okay, so baulis you also see, I think, in maybe some. Okay, I will show you which type of the bauli they have created. Okay, that is called the bauli. So here will be the water. Okay, here was the water, and here the streets are over to further down and the up where. Okay, so that is called baulis. Just like in 100 notes, Rani ki bao, you understand that one also. In 100 note nowadays, the new note also show this particular things. Rani ki bao. Okay, very famous that one. Okay, now labor of the Agra fort built by Akbar. The Agra fort required 2,000 stones cutter, 2,000 cement and lime makers, and 8,000 laborers. Rani Ki Bauri, yes, yeah, very famous that one. Queen in the Stepwell, located in the Bundi in the Rajasthan, is the largest among the 50 step wells that were built to meet the need for water. Known for its architectural beauty, the Bauri were constructed in 1699 common era, you can say a Christ era, by the Rani Nanavat ji, the queen of the Raja Aniruddh Singh of Bundi. So Rani Ki Bauri, that is the very famous one. Okay, now you can see the screen in of the Kuwat al Islam Mosque, Delhi, late 12th century, figure number 2, and figure number 2b, corbelled technique used in the construction of the screen. So you can see easily this one called corbelled. Okay, and the structure that was called mihrab we learn in next section. Okay, now temples construction in the early 11th century. What happened in 11th century? The Kandriya Mahadev, very famous temple, is dedicated to the Shiv, was constructed in 999 by the king Dhangadev. Which one? Dhangadev, the Rashtrakuta, okay, of the Chandil dynasty. Okay, he belonged to the Chandil dynasty. Rashtrakuta was their strong protester also. Okay, and figure number 3 is the plan of the temple and ornamented gateway led to the entrance led and the main hall that is called Mahamandap. Which one is called Mahamandap? This one is called Mahamandap. Okay, then where the dances were performed, the image of the chief deity was kept in the main setting that is called Garbhagriha. Where is the Garbhagriha? Here is the Garbhagriha. Okay, that is called the Garbhagriha, means the center point of the temple. And this was the place for rituals, worship where only the king will be worshipped here. Okay, so the rituals worship where only king is his immediate family. Immediate family. This gathered the Khajuraho complex contained royal temples where commoners were not allowed entry. The temple were decorated with the elaborated carved sculptures. So you can see easily such type of the structure you can see in the especially in the Kandariya Mahadev Mandir or all the Khajuraho temples in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so this one very famous, that is the common entrance. Here is the mandap, here is the Garbhagriha, especially for the deities. You can see the that was the deity of the Mahadev, related to the god Shiva. Okay, so now figure number 4, we have one more figure here, very famous temple, that is called Brihadeshwar temple, built by Rajarajeshwar. Temple at the Tanjore had the tallest shikhar. What is called shikhar? So earlier we learned about the Mahamandap. Second one is Garbhagriha. Now we learn about the shikhar. So that is the called shikhar. Okay, such type of the style that is called shikhar. Now constructing it was not easy because there was no cranes in those days, and the 90 tons stone for the top of the shikhar was the heavy to lift manually. So how can they lift that one? Okay, that is not easy. So it is a 90 ton, you can say. Okay, so and no cranes we have. So shikhar was too heavy, it lift manually. So the architecture built an inclined path to the top of the temple, placed the boulder on rollers and rolled it all the way to the top. So what they have done, they have rolled the boulder. Okay, and that is the slab you can say. And they can stretch them one. Okay, that one, तो उसको ऊपर की ओर खींचा जाता था. ठीक है, and the path started more than 4 kilometers away, so that if would not be too steep, this was dismantled after the temple was constructed. Okay, and but the resident of the area remembered that experience of the construction of the temple for a long time. Even now a village near the temple is called Chorapallam, the village of the incline. Okay, so how they can build up? Okay, suppose they started build it here a temple, so the road map was built it from here. Okay, like that one. Okay, and the platform was made by them, and they rolled up the stones from here to here. Okay, so this one not a easy task. Okay, so we learn about the two temples, the case study of Kandariya Mahadev temple, and one more is the Rajarajeshwar temple in the Brihadeshwar, also known as the Brihadeshwar temple in south. So what difference do you notice between the shikhar and the two temples? Do you think at the shikhar at the Rajarajeshwar temple is twice as high as that one of the Kandariya Mahadev? Yes, that is the twice height. Okay, लगातार हम कह सकते हैं कि ये करीब करीब दुगना ऊंचा है. ठीक है, और एक को हमने पढ़ा कंदरिया महादेव के रूप में और दूसरे को पढ़ा हमने किसके रूप में? दैट इज कॉल्ड बृहदेश्वर या राजराजेश्वर टेम्पल ऑल्सो. नाउ वन मोर थिंग, two technological and statistical development are statistical development are the noticeable from the 12th century. The weight of the superstructure above the doors and window was sometimes carried by the arch, that is called arch. Okay, and one is here keystone and other was binded by that particular one. Okay. The superstructure above the doors and window was sometimes carried by the arch. The architectural form was called the arcade. That is called the arcade. The true arch, the keystone at the center of the arch, transferred the weight of the superstructure to the base of the arch. So that is the main point. Okay. Now compare figure 2a and the 2b with the figure 5a and 5b. So you can compare all that one. Okay. So one is made by the Hindu. Yeah, you can say the our Indian mansions, yeah, mistris, yeah, you can say the architecture, and one second one 5A is 5A and 5B, that one made by the Irani, Turani or Afghani, you can say the karigars, okay, and architectural head, yeah, engineers also, we can say. Second one, limestone cement was increasingly used in the construction. Okay, in the earlier section you can see we can easily identify they use which one to made for the large structure. Stone was the main thing are there, and in second one we can learn about limestone and cement was the increasingly used in the construction. This was very high quality cement which one mixed with the stone chief hardened into the concrete. This made construction of the large structure easier and faster. Take a look at the figure construction site in the figure number 6. You can see easily here too. Okay, that one they can made a structure and you can identify he was not Indian person. Okay, they are the mention, yeah, they are the architectural, yeah, labors also include in Arabic, yeah, you can say the Mohammedans. Okay, so now describe the laborers are doing to the tools shown and the means of the carrying stones. Which type of the carrying stones they have? Okay, they are carried about. Okay, now true arch detail from the Alai Darwaja. Alai Darwaja made by Alauddin Khilji. Okay, Alai Darwaja Quwwatul Islam Mosque in Delhi. That is also related to the Mehroli or Chhatarpur, you can say Mehroli especially. Now a painting from the Akbarnama dated 1590 to 1595 showing the construction of the water gate of the Agra फोर्ट के वाटर गेट को ये दिखा रहा है. ठीक है, सो इसमें हम और आगे पढ़ने वाले हैं. बिल्डिंग टेम्पल्स एंड मॉस्क्यू एंड टैंक्स, हाउ दे हैव made it. Temples and mosques were beautifully constructed because they were places of worship. The place of worship, they were also made by the demonstrate the power. Which type of buildings they have done? They have made. They have also showed their power. Which type of the power they have? How many wealth they have? Wealth and devotion of the patron. That is the particular deities. Means आपकी उसके प्रति कितनी भक्ति है. ठीक है. Now take the example of the Rajrajeshwar temple, and inscriptions mentions that it was built by the king Rajdeva या Rajrajeshwara for the worship of his god Rajeshwaram. Notice how the names. Okay, so we learn in that one in the particular next video. Okay, so thank you.